If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more other outlets. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. This is a fresh episode of New Dawn Podcast, everybody. Thank you for listening. Hope you guys' Wednesday and Thursday turns out okay. Mo, let the people know who we are.
We are the Madden Sim Revolution, and man, we got some good news. We just launched our league website today. Go ahead and check that out on your internet, maddensimrevolution.com. Check out our merch. You can also see the staff, network staff. You see myself and my pretty face on there. As well as our new merch items. We have our special Save franchise tee that we're going to be promoting, having that out there, sponsored by League Crawler. So I want to shout that out. We are in week 11 in season 9, also called MSR season 23. Man, what a cycle it's been, getting towards season 10, which was just recently voted on by the whole league. So excited about that. The Panthers suffered another tough loss. I'm getting tired of that, but that's just been the story of our cycle. But yeah, man, everything else is good. Falco, how are you?
I'm good, man. I took 2 hard losses today. DMT, after taking the lead in the third quarter, I'm back, man, from 13 down. Ended up losing, but I'm going to make a run at the end of the season. Mark my words. I'm going to make a run. Alex, how are you, man?
Man, I'm all good, man. Just man, I ain't gonna talk about the losses. We know they're there. Came off a beautiful 3 quarters against a couple Cats last couple games. You know, we were 75-cent jug the last couple games. Man, we've had some dog fights though. I mean, I can't lie. We played some really good teams, some amazing users. Hop took our ankles with him somewhere. We still haven't figured it out. We're working on things though. You know, we're probably
that was rude. I gotta say that Hop really did you dirty.
Well, you know what it was.
It was so rude.
This is his old team, so he just was like, you know what? I'm gonna punish you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna punish you for having my team and not winning the Super Bowl with him because he was on his way. So I'm gonna tell you like,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had some spice for me. That's what he felt like. You know, so I said, all right, cool. You know, I'm gonna take this whooping. But, you know, we still out here, man. You know, the Cardinals are still out here to hurt your favorite player, and Buddha Baker's still the best safety in the league. Let's go.
Still out there.
Yeah, for real. Buddha's one of those guys.
Man, I felt disrespected last time I said it, and everybody was like, yeah, right. And then it took Uhrah to say, no, he led the league in forced fumbles. And I was like, he's like top 6 in interceptions. What are we talking about?
Buddha, one of those guys.
He's a bad man. He's a bad man.
Away. We joystick away from him is what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Uhrah, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Had my tacos for dinner, coming off a bye week.
Man, me too.
Sitting here happy. I ain't had no Madden worries in a couple days. We chilling right now.
I like it. Fellas, we have a ton of topics to get to today. Let's start out with the AFC West because things are getting a little interesting out there. Raiders right now leading that division. Timbo, how are you a believer? Because I know you called him out as a possible pretender, but now
I did.
Now they beat J-Rod and sitting up top. How do you feel about them?
Let's get to it. I feel good about these Raiders. And the reason why I say that is because they play. Okay. No, I feel good about these Raiders because, you know, what I've seen from TJ and how he's playing, he's a very patient user, and he's starting to put up numbers where it's like, okay, like he's playing big in the bigger games, like the game that he had against J-Rod. It was just he was very patient in his passing game, and that's another thing. The quarterback Foley, it's like he's the one that is taking off in the offense and causing everyone to really start to play better around him. Of course, he's got Corey Clement and what he can do, but you know, he has. I will say he has had a couple of games where he's thrown, you know, some unnecessary picks. Really had some some bad reads, but he's picking up wins that matter, and that's, of course, you get a chance to beat the Chiefs, and it's been a weird couple seasons for the Chiefs, but even this season they still have an offense that you have to look forward to playing. And he's been able to, he's been able to come out with a win like that. Also winning another division game against the Broncos. So I'm still looking. He's at his bye week now. Just beat Little Bears. So he's at a point where he's got to. Oh, I'm sorry. He just came out the bye week. It's week 11. So yeah, he's got Falco coming up. So Falco and him, I haven't seen them play each other before, but I want to see how those styles match up. And then he's got a big time matchup against Joey. And I feel like that game, because he wins that one, he's set up at about 8-4 or 7-5, depending on how the one goes before. And he's got a big game against J-Rod, and we don't know how J-Rod's going to look at that point. So, he's got Joey and J-Rod in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So this is still the meat in the season, but I feel like he's at a good point because he's up a game. So now he's got to keep the pressure up because he knows he's going to see the rest of that division coming down the line.
And Chiefs are looking a little shaky, but Uhrah, what do you think about the AFC West?
I did not know the Raiders just lost to the Bills.
Yeah, they got smacked last night. Actually, that's actually something that caught me a little bit off guard. They did. They lost 42 to 24. Yep.
Dang, you give Bueno a running back again, and all of a sudden he can start winning games. Proud of you.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, how good has Jonathan Taylor been for him?
I feel like he's basically turned his season around. He's coming. Well, I mean, Titans aren't much of a big win, but I mean, winning against TJ and the Raiders is actually a pretty good win for Bueno, since he hasn't really done anything the last couple of years, and he had a really impressive game against DK too. But in the AFC West, I mean, I'm more surprised that I understand J-Rod's basically traded away his entire defense, but I'm still really surprised that he's had such a lackluster season for his standards.
Yeah, it really.
So, it's anybody's division right now. I mean, TJ, he's played well, and he has to keep it up, but he has to beat Joey. And so far, I don't think anybody in the division has shown in the last couple seasons that they have been able to really do that consistently. I mean, I know J-Rod and I think they're a little bit too aggressive in the pass game but that's their style. It's just they like to push the ball up the field, and that's just not what Joey's defense is weak at. So I think TJ, because he showed me when we played that he can pass. Actually, I would like to see. I did not actually. He beat me. I got my breakout with my cornerback, so I don't care. That I was happy.
Of course you don't. There it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Timbo, I need to lose in Genesis. I don't want to play no snow games in the playoffs now.
Oh yeah. That's why you lose. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's one of the reasons. But I mean, TJ, I didn't see much from the pass game, but he didn't really have to. I'd like to watch him when he has to pass, because I feel like if he can pass, he showed that he can run against me. At least he's consistent at doing that. So I think he could have enough variety in his offense that he could actually he could pretty much lock this up against Joey. And I wouldn't even put it past him to beat J-Rod again. So, I mean, TJ, I think right now is probably my favorite in the AFC West going forward.
Really? Okay, yeah, so you're a believer. Okay.
I mean, somebody got to win. Somebody got to win the Raiders. Isaiah ain't won. Isaiah done left with. They ain't been nothing since. I want to see the Raiders win.
Jug, how you feel, man?
Surprise. Didn't Jug call out TJ as the guy who might win this division one of these days? I said it when he first came in. He had them trash Raiders, and he won off a couple big games. He had pushed. I think he had pushed J-Rod to a field goal when J-Rod actually had a defense.
His first game, he put up like over 50, I'm pretty sure.
That man came out swinging, and it was nothing to be messed with. I mean, the only crazy game he lost that season, and this is kind of his pattern, and I don't understand it. He's dope. I think he's one of the best in the game when it comes down to it. He's built his team, a little bit towards what he wants. But here's what's crazy. He came to Arizona, and we had 4 quarters waiting for him. We took him down last year. Okay, but I knew he was gonna be better than that moving forward, and I think he just needed that blessing. Now he's moving on. Now he's moving on, and he's taking on all comers. He's taking down Uhrah. He's taking down J-Rod. I mean, you name it, he's done it, right? My problem, though, is he shouldn't lose to these Bills. He shouldn't lose these little, he shouldn't have lost to us, to be honest. He's a dope player. No, that's what I'm saying. He shouldn't have lost to us. So, like, that's his main weakness, his consistency. If his consistency goes up, we're in trouble. Because this dude's good. He's not weak at all. Like, and I said that when he first came, and he had some good games with he had some. I mean, his games with Joey. I think one Joey smacked him around, and one Joey kind of like barely handled him, and that was Joey's like season last year.
Yeah. Right.
So with Joey at his best, and you just get handled, not smacked around when he was smacking everyone around a little bit. You got to give it to him, man. And now he's kind of got his momentum, and he's got his team right. I think if he just stops giving out these subpar losses, we'll say. I mean, anybody can lose when it comes to Arizona. The heat is real. But, it's just different for him, man. It's just the heat is real, man. When Buda Baker's out there, causing turnovers and we actually like get the ball like in the end zone, we're a tough team to beat. But, we're pretty trash otherwise. So let's just get on to the next topic there, fellas.
Now, hey, Jugs, real quick, who you think is going to win the AFC West right now?
Oh, man. You said the AFC West, right? I can't lie to you. I still feel like Joey might sneak it.
Whew.
Is it crazy? I just don't know. I just think he got another run in him. He had those games earlier in the season where he lost. And we know why. PEDs, right? So now it's like I think he might have a run. Now, if he starts getting down on himself, and if Joey, if you're listening, which I'm almost sure you are, you get that same kind of like, oh, they doubting me energy going again, because they're doubting you.
Yeah, could be.
You're
dangerous.
gonna get back on that. You're gonna get right back in that horse, and you're gonna run it right to the Super Bowl. Because I mean, J-Rod's kind of showing us. He's showing us this like. He's showing us almost like he's
fatigued.
I think he's hitting Madden fatigue, and the thing is, he could be doing one of the Mayweather moves. You remember when Mayweather got caught by Shane Mosley, and then he was just like stuck and stumbling for a little bit, and then he came back and smoked him for the rest of the fight.
No, he was holding. He held for dear life. Let's call it like it was. He held on to Shane's right arm for 2 minutes, and the ref wouldn't say a damn thing. He should have been on his ass. That's another comment.
Let me rewind time. Young Jugs was in a boxing gym. I was beating on this boy, talking crazy to him. He went and got his brother, same age as him. His father was a Rolling Stone, let's just say that. And his brother just so happened to be at my weight class at the time. We was 145ers. And his brother was almost on his way to becoming a world champion. He got me in that same position. I was stumbling, bumbling. I held. I ain't gonna hit the canvas. For what? Nah. Crazy. His brother ended up being his brother was Zab Judah. Let's just say that. But I'm not gonna say look. Zab hit me with a left that had me looking cross-eyed for a minute. Okay, I didn't know who was who in the whole building. I went to his corner to sit down. This is J-Rod's time to go to his corner to sit down, get himself back together, and get back on that horse. Because he's usually my pick. But it's tough, man. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't want it anymore.
All right, Timbo, who do you feel is the AFC West champ?
Right now, it's tight, man. It's tight. All three of those guys are within one game or a half game. If I have to call it today, I'll probably say TJ, just because I still think that he wins 2 of the 3 left that are most important. He's got 2 left with both Joey. I'm sorry, he's got a game left each with Joey and J-Rod. I think it's a good chance he can win both of them. But I think if he at least wins one and then also takes care of business down the rest of his schedule, I mean, he's got some winnable games. I feel like that aren't too much to sleep on. I mean, now he does play Hop now, with who's there. That's a different Vikings team now. But if you look down the rest of that stretch, it's a prove it. I think it's a prove it stretch for him. So I'm expecting him to prove it. But it starts, look, he can't sleep on Falco. He can't allow those abilities. Because, look, he just lost to Bueno. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say that But I just feel like with the lead, I think he sees the pressure, he feels the pressure, he wants to live up to the pressure. Because this is another thing. This is the reason why I have to say that he wins it. He's been saying in Genesis that he was going to sweep Joey in both leagues. He said, "I'm going to sweep you." They're in the same division in both leagues, in the NFC North in Genesis, and then in the AFC West here. He says that he's going to sweep him in both ones. I actually believe he will because he likes to talk so much trash, and I love people to talk trash because I feel like it's up to them to back it up. I'm a big fan of that. You want to talk trash? Back it up. Okay, cool. He's got Joey 2 out of the next 3 games, and then he's got J-Rod mixed in there. Mixed in there except for. I feel like he wins 2 of those 3. And if he does win 2 of those 3, I feel like he's at a point where he's probably leading the division by at least a game, 2 games. So if he's at that point, I see him winning the division because Joey pretty much had it from week 15 on, week 14 on, because he had already swept J-Rod. So by the time we got to that point, that we will know because I feel like if he sweeps Joey and if he happens to sweep J-Rod, it's his. I think he wins 2 of those 3. No matter how you slice, he's going to win 2 of those 3.
But the only thing I know, he's taking an L when he comes to Indy.
It is.
That's happening. That's happening. Mark it down.
You are a bad team. He does tend to play bad against bad teams.
He plays down.
Yeah, that's the thing. He may play down. That may be the other question. Does he play down to his competition?
I think if he loses against Falco, though, he probably won't be able to win the division. I don't think he'll have, unless he just sweeps Joey, I don't think he'll be able to really do it because he's got to be able to keep. He's got, honestly, sweep Joey to really lock it up 100% because tiebreakers and stuff, I don't think he'll win. I don't think he'll win tiebreakers against Joey if they split the series or something like that. But
He'll get hit with the Falco effect.
The Falco effect.
It's a blessing, sir. That's what it's called. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
I will say, looking at their thing though, Joey's the only person in the division with a positive point differential between their games. Joey's got a +1 point. Everybody else is negative in the points.
See, I still think J-Rod. I still think J-Rod's gonna win it. Especially
he should. That's the thing. He should. That offense is too ridiculous for a user like that. Like it should. He just can't. Like he gave up almost 60 to Rev. That was the crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Say that again. Almost 60.
59 points he gave up to Rev, and I was like, what? But that was, that's been a whole nother beast, to deal with. So he had two human joystick running backs. So, but still, God, he gave it the whole defense. But you see what it is when you sell out like that for one side of the ball, like that. Yeah.
I do feel like he does have a little bit of that Madden fatigue, but after he hears this podcast, I think he's going to win out.
That's
after I
what
beat
I'm saying.
TJ.
That's what I want.
I think me beating TJ is going to give him that extra juice. So you're welcome, J-Rod.
He gonna see a door open. He gonna try to go through it. I see. That's what you're saying.
I will just say this: that Falco effect is real. So I just beat Wakanda Genesis. I mean, it was an absolute beatdown.
A mauling.
It was it was an absolute.
Which is crazy because he's dope.
He ponied up, and I was a believer in Wakanda. Now, just because of the Falco effect, he's a great user. He was my favorite to win the AFC, but just because of that Falco effect, it's going to trip him up. He's going to get beat first playoff game.
Man!
Just
talk it out, big fella.
You playing the Ravens again?
It might be. I'm just saying. I caught him right after that Ravens game. So he's got 2 games. Lost to Muck, and then he lost to Falco. Saying. But next topic, real quick. Jags, are they the new top dog in the AFC? I feel like we had this conversation whenever Pride had their or was in control. Now Samoan's in control. The team is loaded. How do you guys feel about the Jags?
I feel like the Oos he's just good at the game. Like he's one of them dudes that's just good at the game. Like you ever play like it reminds me of some of my 2K leagues. There's a brother out there named B Moore, and him and I'd love that dude and hate that dude at the same time because he can get the George, Mike, and Lakers, and we can put them to scale where everybody would be trash in today's game, and somehow he wins. Like he just does that, and I think that's what he does. He stacks up on defense, worries about the offense later, and just kills. Oos is cold, man. I'm a believer in the Jags. I'm still not gonna say they're the top dogs in the AFC. I think the top dogs in the AFC. That, man, it's so crazy in the AFC. I mean, you really right now for me, it might be the Raiders. It might be the Raiders right now.
Really?
And that changes week to week for me. Even though they just lost to the Bills, I'm gonna sound a little bit like Shannon Sharp or Skip Bayless and them. Even though they just lost to the Bills, I feel like they've built up enough credit for me, and we know they're liable to just drop a game, just drop a Arizona, drop a Bills, right? They're liable to give us one of those. But when it comes to when the lights is on, I feel like the Raiders play up to their potential. You know what I'm saying? When the lights is on, there's some guys when the lights are on, they're gonna hit that game winner. I feel like he's one of them dudes that might be out.
Oh man, Uhrah, how about you, man?
Honestly, you can't say he's not the best. He hasn't lost a game that's not a forced loss. Like, his only loss this season is a forced loss. He's 9-0 in the season when actually playing games. He's got probably one of the best defensive lines in the league. He's got two lurker linebackers. He's got Foster out here looking like a god. I don't see any reason he shouldn't be the best. Like, he's played amazing. He's just his team's stacked. He's went out and built a really good team with him. Samoan probably is the only one I don't really see many weaknesses that I don't see anybody in the AFC that I really could be like, well, this person will really 100% beat or really compete with Samoan. I mean, you'll have to play a really, and then a lot of the teams in the AFC really have shaky playoff performances where they just kind of get uncharacteristic. So I think I really, after playing Samoan so much in Genesis and playing him before he left, I know he's really consistent with how he plays. He might have a bad game once in a while, but it's very, very few. I have to go Samoan as the favorite in the AFC.
Yeah, I think I gave up 7 sacks in the first quarter, the first half when I played him. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to post something on the chat here. This is legit how he had me looking the first half. Like, it was crazy. Like, I had no chance on anything. I mean, that was me looking at my computer screen. I mean, I just didn't know where to go. Like, I would look to the right, he would adjust. He'd bring the safety down. I'd be like, all right, I can't go that way. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to get him. This. Nope. It was all over the place. I had 2 seconds to throw. It was bad. But, Timbo, how do you feel about the Jags?
I think what we're seeing was a few people may have paid attention to what Samoan was doing. As soon as he came into the league, he immediately went and got pass rush, and he got speed. And that was like, that's his game. That was his MO when he was here before. He always took the best player available in the draft, no matter what position it was, especially if it was at a key position, like an anchor position, wide receiver, DN, edge, corner, something like that. He was taking that no holds bound. So now you kind of see the team come together. He's developed this receiver Foster that's just blowing past everybody. He's got Andrew Luck, of course, on his 3rd revival of a career. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, what is happening? But it just goes to show how good of a user he is. And in some ways, I even admire it because he and I have had wars in multiple games this cycle, and also in other leagues we play. I mean, he's just one of those guys that, you have to bring your best every game because he is coming to take your head off, and he going to do it with a good game bro on the back end of it. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just one of them dudes that he just loves to really run it up if he can on you, and not like running up disrespectfully. Literally, he's going to put up points. Like, he's going to get the ball, take it from you, get a short field, throw a bomb up top of your head. You better be there to catch it, or it's not. You know what I mean? He will give you a chance to make mistakes, but you better take those chances.
And you know what's crazy is that, like, he'll absolutely thump you. He's so nice after the game, like, you can't hate on him. I'm just like, man, I really want to hate on you, but he's like, man, I'll help you out. Like, I'm going to put this clip together. I'm going to put the highlights together, and we'll go over them, whatever. And yeah, I'm like, dude, no, I don't want to do that, but okay. Like, I can't hate on the guy. No, like I really want to, but I can't. That guy.
Yeah, he's also like someone said this before about in another league, said this about Kylo, that he's like a technician or something, when it comes to his gameplay. I feel like when it comes to explosive plays, the way Samoan sets those up, it's like they're coming, but he may lull you to sleep a little bit with a couple underneath crossers or something. The next thing you know, your coverage isn't set up to play maybe the deep ball, but then he just gets enough protection, and then he's got a Foster or a little small receiver or a 6'3" burner that's just going upside your head, and next thing you know, it's 20-0, and it's just like, what the hell happened? So, I mean, I could just see how that team. One thing I will say though, at least in terms of playoff, success, it's been a little bit about his defense. His defense can get if he's not taking the ball away from you, that's half the battle. You cannot give Samoan the ball. Like, you can't throw picks. You can't give him anything extra. Let him work with whatever he gets from maybe a punt here and there or a field goal kickoff. Let him do what he does from there. Do not give him short fields.
Yeah. I will say this: I put my final drive of the game was probably the most perfect drive I've ever had against Samoan. So the next game I get Samoan, he's 17 of those. I'm gonna put up 45 on his head. Just throwing that out there.
I want what you're smoking, bro. That's some pretty good shit.
That's foul.
You ain't doing shit like that.
If you read what I was doing in the Genesis chat, you know what's going on. The Redskins, are they a real threat? What do you guys feel like? Jugs, let's start with you.
Man, the Redskins are tough, bro. For some reason, they got a good quarterback. They got a good defense. they really built themselves well. But that division, man, it's just like TJ. Like, they're the TJ of the NFC East. Like, you're just like, that team, that user, dope. But that division, it messes people up. Like, how many times, how many games would Tom have really lost if he not have been in the NFC East? How many games would DK have never lost if he not been in the NFC East? How many games would the Eagles have not lost if they not been in the NFC East every year? Those guys beat each other up so much. I got faith in draft pick, man. He's a beast. I mean, I got to see him soon too. I got to see him in Genesis soon too. I mean, I'm gonna try to make him mortal. You know what I'm saying? Take a pint of blood from him. You know what I'm saying? Do what I gotta do. But he's a tough user, bro. Like, he's just a good player. And I know that a lot of guys, they hear me talk about people and they're like, oh man, Judge says this guy's a good player. These guys are good player. Well, look, I've been saying the whole NFC East, the whole AFC East. I said Hop. I said King, and I've given love to just our people here on the NDP, but it's just like and Wakanda Samoa. But if you don't, I ain't saying nobody else's name. You know what I'm saying? These dudes is, these dudes ain't the same, man. They're a whole nother level, bro. It's like, I think that the Redskins are gonna be able to make a real good push, man. They're probably gonna either come in. I don't think they're going to win the division, though. I really don't think they're going to win the division. I think they sneak in the wild card and make noise. And a lot of people are going to be surprised because they're so used to just having to worry about the Cowboys, Giants, or Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Not the Redskins as a player. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? It's like, take it. What you say? Good luck. So it's going to be fun to watch, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, he's looking good with Kyler Murray back there. Timbo, how do you feel about the Redskins?
I think it's more just he's a tough user. He's a really good user. I've seen him in another league, and he plays pretty well there. But versus our level of competition, he's been pretty solid, man. Especially this season, I think it's him just being more comfortable with that. He's got his team together too, so he's putting more pieces of what he wants on that team now. So I think we can see some improvement, especially down the stretch. I think we'll see more improvement, of him, with this particular team, and see if they try to get in the playoffs a little bit. But I don't think he's, I don't know, to the question if is he a threat? I think he's a tough out. I think he's a really good user that you have to count on each and every week. But in terms of the threat to the playoff race, I can't say that right just yet because I think he's got to come out on top of that NFC East, or at least be, you know, a 10-11 win team, which is what gets you in the wild card in our side of the conference. So until we see that, I can't call them a threat yet.
Rob, how about you, man?
I know number one, he's solid, but I think he has to win out really to make the playoffs. Like I don't think if he really gets into like a dogfight with the Giants, or he'll play the Lions, but if like if the Lions go on a win streak and the Packers and Bears and everybody start fighting for the wild card or start fighting with good records and stuff, he could get shuffled out, because as of right now, pretty much unless like me or King just have like an utter falling out at the end of the season, more than likely both of us are in the playoffs. You got the Saints and the Eagles leading right now. The Giants just are 7-3 right now. The Redskins are 6-4. So yeah, that's already a little shaky. The Lions, Packers, and Bears all have 4 losses. The Bears have a 6th win. The Lions and the Packers don't. And that's really where it's going to come down to, is around that group of about 5 teams. That's where the last wild card is going to be. So I think he has to win out. Like the Lions game will be really important when he gets down. He has to win NFC games, because I'm pretty sure most of his losses, if not all of them, are to NFC teams. He's 3-4 currently. So you won't win that tiebreaker. You have to basically win as a better record than them. And that would require him to beat Tom and Kylo to end out the season. I don't see him doing it. I know he's a good user, and the Redskins were in rough shape when he got there, but I don't think this is his season to make the playoffs, just by how his season has gone and how everything's starting to settle down as we get into that playoff push. I think this is not his season, but if he can continue to improve that team next year, I would keep an eye on him to really make a good playoff push.
Let me ask you guys this. Whose turnaround is more impressive, Raiders or Washington?
Ooh, I'm going to say Raiders.
I mean, because he's beaten. See, like, I hear I've seen a couple of you say that, like, it's fatigue for J-Rod. I get that. Like, he's won a lot. He's had to be at the top himself for the majority of the cycle. I just think that win kind of ranks a little bit higher in my mind for me, just because that was the one that I feel like, okay, because it's still, that offense is still a problem, and J-Rod's still playing to beat you. Like, I don't care what anyone says, whether he may be fatigued or not. He's playing to beat you. He's not trying to take it. So, right. Yeah, I think just based off those kind of wins alone, because I've seen DB, he came in the league and thumped DK right away. So I knew that he could play. Like, I knew that he could play. And he just had a couple of tough losses here. So yeah, I would say for me it's teaching, because I didn't expect him to be at the top of it.
But what about for you, Uhrah?
I would honestly go. I'm going to lean towards TJ, but that's just more because he's got a few more quality wins. Like the Redskins have had kind of outside of pretty much their losses, and I mean their division is really where they kind of make the noise. He's beaten DK once, he's beaten Tom once, and he's lost to Kylo. But I mean, other than that, like his other bigger games in conference against like Rhino and C Frank are for the other losses, and I feel like TJ is one better quality, but he's also like TJ's loss to Bueno really does kind of hurt me. So it's really neck and neck, but I'm going to give a slight edge to TJ right now before the end of the season. But TJ still has a lot to prove to end the season right now.
I want to say number one has a he gets. I'm going to lean towards him a little bit just because his losses aren't terrible teams, Rhino, he's having an off season, but he's not terrible. Like he's a really he's got a quality team and a quality user. Right now he's sitting at 3-6, but still he lost to C Frank and the Saints, who's really tough. What did he lose to? He lost to Kylo, which and then he lost to DK once. I mean, those are those guys that he lost to are no pushovers. And then we got TJ who lost to Bueno. No offense to Bueno, but you can't lose games like that. And he's beat all the AFC East teams that he's played. Number one has. So he gets a little bit of the nod for me too. And also the team that he took over, I feel like was in way worse condition than, well, maybe not way worse, but it was in worse condition than the Raiders. I don't know. I think, well, maybe not, because he did have two linebackers.
He's had more time to turn it around than the Raiders, though. That's why I say the Raiders, because they're both killing it. Don't get me wrong, and this is not a slight towards either one. It's just the Raiders hasn't even had a full 16 games in the league yet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true. That is true.
They're cooking for a team that hasn't even had 16. You know, so like, yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that when it comes down to it, it has to be the Raiders. It has to. I mean, they're cooking.
That's true. You guys changed my mind. But, right, next topic, guys. Before we wrap it up, we're 11 weeks in, about to head on to week 12. Let's throw out some MVP candidates. Timbo, let's start with you.
Oh man, we got a couple of really good players, especially on the offensive side of the ball, like the running backs. I don't know. It's kind of hard to really put one guy that's stepping out to me, but I'm gonna give Joe Ellis some love. I'm gonna give Joe Ellis out of the Jets. I feel like it's been his time. BMT, those guys were 7-3 now. They've really been quietly rolling out there in the AFC East, and that's the junker race. But I felt like last year was kind of him coming around, and he got into the playoffs. Eked in there at 9-7. Now this year he's keeping it. He's even been more efficient than he was last year. He's got a 113 QBR, 24-14 in terms of QB to touchdown to interception ratio. I think it's time to really show the improvement of that team and really get Joe Ellis some love. He's turning some things around. He's got some really good weapons on that team. He's finding a way to get them all the ball. And BMT's made some picks too. He picked up a rookie receiver. He's not rookie receiver a couple years ago with Crowther that has a humongous catch radius. You throw it anywhere near him, he's bringing the ball there. And Joe Ellis has really just been figuring out, just very diligent in getting the guy's ball, spreading the ball around, and that team's coming together. So I like Joe Ellis.
That's a really solid one. He put up 412 yards on me earlier today, 5 touchdowns. I think Crowther had 2 of them. Crowther was just an animal. I think Omaha a lot more and identifying the defense. He's been playing absolutely lights out. That's a great one. Uhrah, how about you, man? MVP.
Honestly, my favorite right now would be Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts, it's kind of been a weird year because it's like a down year for quarterback play for our league. Like normally we have a couple teams that have around this it's like 6-1, 5-1 touchdown interception ratio, but there's a lot of teams that are really like around 500 with their touchdown and interceptions, and then there's Jalen Hurts with 28 touchdowns and 5 interceptions to go with his 3 touchdowns rushing and like 200 yards rushing. I would say Jalen Hurts is my favorite right now. My dark horse is going to be Bradley Price for the Jaguars.
Oh yeah, so I like that one, Uhrah. I like that one.
4, 5, 6. He's 7th in total tackles. He's first in the league with 10 interceptions to go with how high he is in tackles. And he's got 3.5 sacks. So he's really just all around so far been the best defensive player. I would really, if he can continue this pace up and like Hurts kind of has like a bad couple weeks or something like that, I feel like Price could easily sneak in and steal it. But Price would be my dark horse and one that I would cheer for to win MVP.
Price is an absolute monster.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hate playing him. Jugs, how about you, man? Who's your MVP?
I'm going to give some love to people that don't really get love in a positive fashion on the show. But this dude did get some love already, so I am kind of contradicting. I'm gonna give Albert Alphabet Soup,
the big O,
the greatest tight end that I've seen out here, outrunning 96 speed guys. I'm gonna give him love, man. He's a tight end. He's a man amongst boys. He dominates out there. He just the team doesn't win, but I ain't gonna front. I feel like if they're one injury shy of actually winning some games. If they had their other receiver, he would.
Yeah, Rashawn Reed really hurt his offense. It really hurt.
Yes, and his production would go down. Yes, but I don't doubt that he would still be looked for every time in the end zone, and they would get there a lot more frequently with him with the ball. With both of those guys being able to catch the ball like they do, and they got my man. Don't they got Mike Thomas too?
Yeah.
I mean, he's your afterthought. That's crazy. I want to give him that love. And as my other guy, I'm gonna put out there. We're gonna talk about Foster. I think Foster at receiver, man. He's the Jags offense. Him and the quarterback, they are the Jags offense. If they don't have them, this team, it's like LeBron leaving Cleveland. Like, you know what I'm saying? How they gonna score now? They might be all right defensively, but how they gonna score now? Like y'all said, he's 9-1, and I mean, I had to show love on two different sides of the spectrum here with the 9-1 team and a team that's got, I think, one win. But it's just, it's real though. Like, these two teams are based, offensive attack are based off these two players, and their quarterback play, and I mean, no one stopped it. Just plain and simple. He gave me like 2 touchdowns when we played.
Yeah, I like those picks. I really like the Jalen Hurts pick. That was going to be mine. My second guy, a little bit of a dark horse. Nobody's really getting in on this guy just yet, but Dak Prescott, he's been playing absolutely lights out. He has a 123.6 QBR. He's been playing great. King makes a run here, and Uhrah, have you guys played yet? Your week?
Nope.
Yeah, not yet. I think you guys play next week. And so, I mean,
I thought King couldn't pass though.
I mean,
yeah. That's what I was going to say. If he wins
first,
if he puts 400 up on Uhrah, I think that has to put him in the conversation of MVP.
If
70% completion percentage, 23 TDs, 13 picks. Man, that man can't pass though. That's wild.
Yeah,
I mean, I have to see it first.
You may see it next week. Saying he's playing lights.
Falco warming him up, boy.
Let's go, King.
Yeah, next week.
I think he's a little bit of a dark horse. I think if he makes I think King can make another run to the championship. Dak, especially if he goes in. Next week is going to be key for me. If Uhrah King battle, it'll be key. How he plays there, it's either going to give him momentum to the postseason or put him, slightly.
Can King pass for 200 yards against Uhrah? We'll see next week. Hasn't happened in a few games, but we will see.
That's crazy.
It's tough, bro, because King, I know everybody's so afraid of King's run game that they just load up on it. But, King smacked me last time we played. That was mostly defense, bro, because we was on it. Dak Prescott threw for I think maybe 260, 250 with 4 interceptions. I don't know how he just smokes everybody for 300 and 400 and 500 yards every time out. But he's a dog. King just knows how to play the game, man. He's one of them other dudes, man. He's different.
And I still feel like he's underrated too.
He's underrated because he's understated. He don't be in the chat talking his, he don't be bumping his gun.
He's quiet guy.
If he had, we would be a perfect player. His game play in my mouth, man, we'd be killing y'all. Y'all boys be in trouble.
Yeah. So to Uhrah's point earlier, this is my only question. I know you said 200 yards, but y'all last 2 games, he didn't even throw 200 yards, but he also threw 5 touchdowns.
Ooh.
So
Did he throw?
Still, he threw 3 touchdowns and 1 pick in week 17.
We didn't play. I got sim, bro. I got sim, bro. I didn't actually wanted to play that, but the league officials decided otherwise.
PEDs. You was on the PEDs. Okay.
Yeah, PEDs. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's a different story.
Look at the game before that. That's the game.
I mean, it was the same kind of game, 13-8. But I mean, look, 13-18, 127. I mean, it was a condensed game for both of y'all. Really, you threw just at 200 yards. So you just held your run in check, and his run was a little bit okay. It wasn't really.
In that game, Burita only had like one big rush for like 50 yards, and then he got hurt. Yards, mm-hmm. Yeah, but like other than that run, Burita only had like maybe 15, 17 yards on like 7-8 carries. I'm not afraid to face Burita anymore. I'm really not afraid to play King. King's offense does not scare me.
Hey, you was that.
I'm ending with this, Judge. I'm ending with this. Last time this man talked on on NDP, I gave him a 40 burger on Showdown. So we gotta put it on Showdown. We gotta put it on Showdown. It has to.
It's gotta be
8-2 versus 8-1. Oh, it's gotta happen.
Listen, I want to put this out there too. Uhrah's my man, but he was that kid. That young kid that went into the bathroom, said Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and turned off the lights to see if she would come. You know what I'm saying? Like he Candyman, bam. And that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? He was looking for it. Now he gonna find the smoke now because he gotta see this man. He gonna find it now. He gotta see this man now. It's gonna be a good game. Those games are exactly. It's always a 50-50 game between them two. But Uhrah does, he does his thing with him. But boy, that's gonna be fun. I mean, I hope he can hear it.
King's offense never scares me. It's not his offense that gets me. It's just his defense is so star-studded that it's always a pain in the ass to play. And him starting to figure out that he can use the safety and stuff has added more of it's just harder to throw around and things like that on his defense. Our games usually come down to who can pass better. That's usually who wins the game because we both will have even run games, and our defenses will both usually show up. It's whoever can pass better is usually the one that wins. And he has the stars, but he never produces with said stars against me. Like he's only done a few games like that. I don't fear King because he never shows me I should be fearful when I play him. He always has like an average game where it's like nothing impressive. I mean, I know your offense is only in like 6 sets, but I mean, come on, now you should do better than that.
6 sets.
Oh no! Oh boy!
Hey, this gonna be good. Gonna be good. I might need to be on that call. I might need to be on that call.
It might need to be an NDP special.
Oh, that'd be fire. That'd be fire.
Man. That one, Falco. We don't talk while we play games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm just bro, you're either setting yourself up for another suspension or you're gonna come out swinging, but it's gonna be fun to watch.
I mean,
it's gonna be great, man.
Somehow, some way, I have a top 5 defense this year, so I don't know. It depends on if my defense wants to show up.
Oh man.
Well, I think we should wrap it up on that note. If you got anything there tonight with, man?
Man, I just want everybody to go out there, be safe. Still, I don't care what your favorite people in Hollywood telling you to do, man. Just be safe. Do what you got to do. Just keep yourself good, man. That's all I got, bro. I ain't really got nothing else.
Bro, you got any more smoke to talk?
Nah, I'm good.
What you got there the night with?
Oh man, I think we just booked our next showdown. So
yes,
look forward to that. But man, again, check out the new league website, maddensimrevolution.com. It's got a lot of fun stuff on there. We also are going to be expanding it as well, but we want to get that up and live for you guys. Go ahead and check us out. We have our league staff on there, all pretty pictures of us looking good in our headshots. And then we also have applications if you're interested in joining the league. You can apply there. Also links to our daddy leagues and our new merch, including our Save Franchise tee. Of course, you know what's going on in Madden 21. We're getting word that maybe franchise won't be as of an integral part of the game the way that we like to play it as guys in the CFM community, or excuse me, in the franchise community. But we wanted to get our word out. And also, if you want to support, check out our merch, which says #Save Franchise there again at maddensimrevolution.com. Appreciate you guys supporting us. And also our sponsor is League Crawler. Appreciate them. Check them out, leaguecrawler.com, and on Twitter at leaguecrawler.
Sir, yes, sir. And on that note, NDP out.